Hey everyone, welcome to the Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here with us. Now, if you've been following our deep dives, you know I'm absolutely passionate about structured learning. Really breaking down these complex frameworks so we can actually put them to use. And today we're tackling a massive question. As organizations rush headfirst into adopting AI and intelligent automation, how do we make sure our foundational systems don't just, collapse under the weight of all this new tech? Because standing still, not an option, but moving recklessly, that destroys trust. We desperately need a solid, safe technical foundation, and that is exactly what we're going to unpack today.
The TIO Blueprint, the Intelligent Organization Framework, maps out enterprise transformation into 5 specific domains: leadership, data, technology, factory, and people. Notice that light blue band right in the middle, the technology domain. This right here is the bedrock. This is where we build our safe, resilient foundations, making absolutely sure that our AI solutions are actually secure, integrated, and reliable when the rubber meets the road. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the technology context. Second, capability 5, the shield. Third, boundary, risk versus resilience. And then we'll hit our 3 evidence roles: plans, testing, and dependencies.
Section 1. The technology context and your digital foundation.
Before we can really talk about protecting the work, we have to understand the goal, right? Technology's job in the age of AI isn't just to buy the fanciest new tools. It is to provide the resilience needed for reliable work. Which leads us to this absolute powerhouse of a statement. Digital work must be secure, available, and recoverable. I mean, if you take nothing else away from this explainer, write that down. That is the ultimate objective. You can have the most advanced AI agent in the world, generating mind-blowing insights, but if the system hosting it goes down and you can't recover it, the value is exactly zero. AI isn't magic, folks. It is digital work, and that work must be protected.
Section 2. Capability 5, also known as the shield. And this brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about today. Within the technology domain, resilience is our metaphorical and literal shield. Its formal TIO definition is the organization's ability to keep critical technology, data, automations, AI solutions, and digital services secure, available, recoverable, and reliable. Notice how incredibly comprehensive that is? It's not just about keeping the lights on for your dusty old legacy servers anymore. It's about making absolutely sure that the brand new automated workflows and AI models your teams rely on every single day are protected against failure. Section 3. The boundary line between risk and resilience.
Now, in enterprise leadership, words really matter. And 2 concepts that get constantly confused in boardrooms are risk and resilience. So let's draw a crystal clear boundary here. Risk, that lives up in the leadership domain. It identifies what could go wrong, like spotting a storm on the horizon, and sets your threat posture. Resilience, on the other hand, lives in the technology domain. It's the one doing the operational heavy lifting to actually build the shelter that keeps you dry and ensures your digital services are recoverable. Risk spots the threat. Resilience actually does the work to protect you from it.
Section 4. Evidence rule number 1, plans.
Evidence rule number 1. So how do we know if we're actually resilient? Well, the TIO framework uses a 0 to 5 maturity scale. And the golden rule here is this: you score evidence, not aspiration. To prove maturity, you need to show actual approved plans. We're talking cybersecurity plans, backup plans, recovery plans, and continuity plans for critical systems and data. So the crucial point is this: leaders must have these documents securely in place. It is not enough for your IT lead to just wave a hand and say, "Oh yeah, sure, we back that up." No way. Where is the plan? What is the recovery time objective? If an AI solution corrupts a core database, what is the exact documented sequence to restore it? Section 5, evidence rule number 2, testing. Evidence rule number 2.
Now, as anyone who has ever survived a major system outage knows, having a plan sitting in a dusty binder, that is only half the battle. A plan is really just a hypothesis until you test it. For this rule, you need an active incident response process. That means named roles and clear escalation paths. When a critical system crashes at 2 a.m. on a Sunday, who gets called first? Who actually has the authority to take the system offline? Plus, you need documented records of recovery testing and completed tabletop exercises. Seriously, ask yourself right now, does your organization actually practice for the worst-case scenario? Or are we just kind of assuming everyone will figure it out when the alarms start ringing?
Section 6, evidence rule number 3, dependencies.
Evidence rule number 3.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Once your internal plans and testing are in order, you've got to look outside your organizational walls. Because let's face it, in today's digital ecosystem, no enterprise is an island. You absolutely must conduct and document dependency reviews for your vendors, cloud platforms, and critical AI services. Think about it for a second. You are likely not building your own large language models from scratch, right? You're relying on third-party APIs and massive cloud infrastructure. If your critical vendor suffers a major outage, what happens to your operations? If they decide to change their security posture overnight, how does that impact your compliance? You simply cannot be fully resilient if you have unexamined fragile dependencies on outside parties.
Section 7, the finale, measuring your mandates.
We have covered a ton of ground today, so let's synthesize these takeaways. Let's anchor on that core definition of resilience one last time. It's your organization's ability to keep critical technology, data, automations, AI solutions, and digital services secure, available, recoverable, and reliable. At the end of the day, enterprise trust is built entirely on reliability. If your stakeholders, your employees, or your customers cannot trust your digital foundation, for sure, they will not trust your AI transformation.
I really want to leave you with this provocative thought to challenge your current maturity state. Think about the single most critical AI or automation tool your team uses right this second. Are those critical AI dependencies truly recoverable today? If that entire system just vanished in the next 5 minutes, do you have the plans, the tested response, and the vendor clarity to bring it back safely? Because if you aren't 100% sure, well, that is exactly where your next leadership conversation needs to start. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep building those strong foundations, and I'll see you next time.